It was really nice hearing on how you prepared for mains and what are the strategies. But can we take a step back? And I just want to understand, what did you do during prelims? How was your mindset during that time? And did you take any coaching, or what was your strategy like? Now, mains, by the time it comes, you would have had a lot of understanding and you have a more mature mindset. But how was it during prelims?
Uh, Actually, I have not taken any separate coaching for prelims per se, never. I did solve some test papers, but I did not take any separate coaching. My idea has always been that it's a single exam. These are not three different exams, prelims, mains, and interview. There is a single exam in which the preparation has to be integrated. So
Yeah.
the interview marks will be out in next few days. We will get marks, but then uh, uh, at the time I used to
Yeah.
think and I used to imagine that people will laugh at me when I tell this. But when I used to prepare, I used to not only think of what factual questions can be asked from a particular topic in prelims, I also used to think what an interviewer can ask from me about from this topic. You know, a difficult question that the interviewer can perhaps ask me from this topic, and I used to imagine how I will respond to the answer, and I used to think in exactly the language that I will use to respond in. You know, I will not think in Hindi. I will think in proper English, starting with sir, blah, blah, or ma'am, blah, blah.
Yeah.
That used to be my approach to kind of train myself even for the interview. So this is an integrated exam. The same issues, most of the same issues. I will not say all of them, but then there is a large overlap between the syllabus of prelims and mains. The same factual things that you memorize for prelims become your fodder material or your data point or your content when you are writing in mains. So if I say there is high poverty in India, it does not have that emphasis. The moment I add that according to Tendulkar committee report, poverty, there are 22% of the India's population is below poverty line, it adds weight. So for prelims, I will study a bit more on Tendulkar committee report, but then I know ki this particular data point will be useful for mains also. So that ways you have to integrate the preparation. This helped me a lot. Other than that, pick. So for current, okay, I will just say because my preparation was integrated, I will have to actually respond in an kind of integrated manner. So what I used to do was I used to simply divide. I used to study newspaper every day. That was my daily routine.
Which
Rarely did I.
newspaper was that?
Pardon, come back,
Which
please.
newspaper?
My base newspaper was the Hindu. When I say base newspaper, I mean the news part except the opinion pages. If you remove the opinion page and the rest of the news, it was the Hindu newspaper because the Hindu is most prone to the demand of the exam. At least that's something that I felt. For opinion, I used to have a mix of Hindu and Indian Express.
Okay.
And opinion pieces, I will read 3 to 4 opinion pieces by mixing both the newspapers. And I used to read explained page of Indian Express. It's a very nice page where the issues are explained in very lucid language and very to the point, and very unbiased coverage is given, devoid of any ideological tilt or inclination. So this is what I used to do for newspaper. I used to cover Rajya Sabha TV debates regularly. There are certain advantages to watching Rajya Sabha TV debates. First, you get multiple viewpoints. In a newspaper opinion, you only get the viewpoint of a single person. In a debate, you get viewpoint of multiple people. Second, Rajya Sabha TV has very nice, highly qualified people. It has senior journalists, Supreme Court lawyers, retired judges, bureaucrats who have been secretaries of different ministries, foreign secretaries, etc., etc. So the viewpoints that you get are really amazing. Third, even though I have moved my hand so much during this talk, if you look at Rajya Sabha TV discussions, you will not see any bureaucrat moving his or her hand at all. So you also get to learn the kind of body language and even their language that they use, which lasts with you if you keep watching them. So you learn a small phrase or idiom here or there. Last straw on camel's back.
Okay.
International relations are
Amazing.
not driven by there. There are no permanent friends or permanent enemies. There are only permanent interests. These
Oh,
are the
okay.
dialogues that you just
Yeah. Will help in the essay part mainly, I think, right? All this.
yes, essay and
Yeah.
also answer writing. Yes, and even during interview, why not? Because that's you're learning from people uh, who are as qualified and as experienced as people who are actually
Yeah.
taking your interview, not more. So
Yeah.
I used to watch Rajya Sabha debates. This used to be my daily current affairs input. I used to watch
Mm.
Rajya Sabha debates on the go, like while on the metro or something, and I will just take down the points on my phone itself. I will put the points in Google Keep, and I'll open it on my browser, the Google Keep, and I'll copy paste from there in my notes. So
Amazing.
these are the things that I used to do. There I will make the division of prelims and mains.
Okay.
So all the mains material will go on my notes. I will not leave any mains material. For things like uh, Rajya Sabha TV or uh, newspaper, until unless it's not really important, I will not put down it in my prelims notes, because there is something that I think every aspirant does, and that is reading one magazine, current affairs magazine of any particular institute. That's something I also did. This becomes a
Okay.
filler, right? It's not your whole current affairs, but it supplements and complements your current affairs preparation. You will invariably and inevitably not be able to address everything that was in news in the last 1 month. So the rest
Right.
of the part you actually missed out, you will get in the magazine. So from there also I used to lift points for mains and put them in my notes. But prelims part I will underline there. I will underline and leave.
So
And
I'm thinking who will be lucky enough to receive all your notes now. So I think it should be really comprehensive
uh,
from everything that you researched till last year.
I have plans to make my notes public.
Okay.
The,
That's really nice.
so
Yeah.
yeah, whatever soft copies I have, I'll make everything public. So
Amazing.
everybody will get that. One important point for everybody, because now I have told this, is
Yeah.
that you must not rely on my notes. Whoever is watching this, you must make your own notes. My notes should serve two, three purposes for you only. One, you can learn how to make notes quickly, because I have learned it by hit and trial. You need not do that altogether. Do not rediscover the wheel. You have the wheel. Second, for whatever topics you don't have enough content or you need background knowledge or data, go and refer to the notes. But don't take everything down. Be a bit current affairs and oriented. Third, understand that I made notes for myself. Now I am making it public, but that does not mean I made it for everybody. So it's
Yeah.
true according to my strengths, weaknesses. If I already know an area pretty well, I will write less about it.
Right.
If I do not know some area that well, I will write more about it. So your notes have to be prone to your demand. Sorry.
Yeah. That's all
And
right.
that's how you should do it. So yes, I will actually share that, and
Yeah.
you can access that and make your own notes accordingly.
That's really nice of you. One thing though was you prepared so much. How much time of the day do you think you spent on preparations before prelims?
See, before prelims, it usually stretches, because ultimately you have to attempt some papers and do some analysis of the test paper also. That takes time. My analysis used to be a bit lengthy, usually lengthier than analysis done by others. Uh, this is some advice again that I've given to some people, and I think this is the part that did most for me for prelims preparation. So I used to, while attempting the paper, I used to. So we mark A B C D on the question paper itself, right?
Yeah.
While doing that, I will leave out the questions in which I'm confident. I know this is the answer, so I will just mark A B C D and move on. But then there will be questions in which I will not be that sure. So I will use some logic to deduce what should be the best answer. Important part is it's not a guess, it's educated guess at worst. At best, it's something more than even that, right?
Right.
So I will use some logic and I will deduce the answer that this is what should, and the answer should be, and I will mark that. But then in such questions, I will put a star mark. Then there will be questions about which I will have even lesser idea. There can be questions about which I have not even heard before. But that does not mean that I will blindly leave it. I'll think about it definitely. There have been questions that I attempted, like there was a term given in the question. It was science and technology related term. I don't remember the term at the moment, but it was given, and the question was, what is it? As in,
Okay.
what the term, right?
Yeah.
Now the term I could read and say it's a noun. It's a noun word.
Yeah.
And out of the four options, two were describing adjective. So
Okay.
those two cannot be the answer, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody is telling you what to use while getting to the answer, right?
Yeah.
It's your wish. You can English to get to the answer, right?
Right.
So that's leave questions. In fact, I'm not somebody who ever attempts even more than 90 questions. My average attempt is around 85, 86, 87 questions. But then I will read all of them. I will not leave them unattempted. I will put a fight and then leave it if I feel that I can't do anything about it. And after I have solved the paper, I used to calculate marks by dividing the questions into all these three categories. I will see in the questions that I was confident, how well did I do? There, ideally, I should have more than 90% accuracy. If that's not happening, I have not studied well or some topic is going wrong. So I will have to look at that. I have poor information about something or poor understanding of some topic. So I will look to that particular topic. If it's second and third case, then I have to think. I thought by some logic, right? I applied logic because I did not know the answer. Where did I go wrong? Or I should say, how should I have thought to reach to the right answer? Once I started doing this exercise, the analysis took more time, but my thought process started improving. So in the next paper, eventually I started thinking on the right logical lines and I started getting more correct answers. So this is what I did for prelims and it helped me a lot. This basically reduces the amount of information that you need to mug up and still increases your, basically it's like for the same set of information and knowledge that you already have, you can increase your marks by, I would say 10 or 15 if you adopt these methods from the beginning.
Amazing. So like they say, there is a method to the madness sort of thing where you're kind of applying logic for everything and being very streamlined and structured about the way you prepare. And I think that these are some of the things students should, aspirants must really pick up on, because it's not about studying everything and trying to remember what happened, everything, everywhere, which is, I think, humanly not possible at all. So
the sheer length of syllabus of UPSC will not allow you to do that.
yeah. Lot of
That's the problem.
self-discipline is needed, I think, to the preparation process. But how was the peer group? I mean, were you someone who would want to study everything on your own? Did you have a group of people, a study group with whom you studied? How did that go on for you?
So different people have different behavior here. I was somebody who preferred studying alone, but I collaborated a lot for prelims. As far as peer group is concerned, I would say I was blessed with one of the very good peer groups. And there was this environment where everybody encouraged everybody else to study. That's very important in a peer group, where you do not encourage each other to have fun and do all those things, but encourage each other to study. One thing that I used extensively before prelims, and I forgot to mention that I should have, and this is where my peer group became very important, was we used to ask each other a lot of questions, prelims based questions, objective, and we will give options also. We will not just ask questions, we will give 4 options, just like it's given in the exam.
Okay.
And we will, before prelims, 1 month before prelims, or 15 days before prelims also, in that heat, we used to sit outside in some shade with tea in our hands, 5, 6 of us, and everybody will have a different book in their hands. Somebody has current affairs material, somebody has some art and culture book or something, and we will just keep asking questions, to each other, and
Wow.
everybody will keep trying to answer that. This helps a lot because first you try to answer, so you try to recall. Trying to recall helps you a lot. Second, if you could not recall, you applied some logic and told the answer. And after that, usually your friends not just tell you the answer, they tell you either the logic behind it also, or
Mhm.
some trick to memorize it. So
Right. Mnemonics and code words and things
yes,
like that.
mnemonics, a lot of them. Yes, yes, we discovered. I'll give you one example, right? So what are the
Okay.
6 languages of UN that are used in UN? The answer is Fresca. Now Fresca is a drink that you
Yeah.
commonly get in Delhi. So
Oh,
Fresca is French, Russian, English, uh,
Spanish,
uh,
is it?
Spanish,
Yeah.
yes, Chinese, and Arabic. You have 6 languages, Fresca. So, if you use such mnemonics, you can memorize a lot of things. And friends usually help you with that. Somebody comes with some mnemonic or the other, and we all help each other. That helps a lot.
Amazing. So I'm sure that you're blessed to have such a group of people, and I think they're all very happy on where you are currently, and that everybody's contribution contributed to you achieving this great feat. Now, going a step forward, when it came to mains, which optional did you choose, and how did you make that choice on choosing the optionals?
Optional is a funny story, actually.
Right.
But then, yes, uh,
Yeah.
uh, geography was my optional. And
Okay.
while making the choice, I had considered a few subjects.
Mhm.
Uh, uh, it included civil engineering, which was my graduation subject. It included statistics, which I was using a lot during my job. It
Okay.
included political science, sociology, geography, which are popular optionals, right? So I considered all of them. I had to pick one. So what I did was I actually took previous year question paper. So at that particular time, I had the question paper of 2014 mains,
Okay.
and I took the question paper of 2014 mains and started going through them, and I started seeing, if somehow do I strike up some notes that okay, this seems to be
Mhm.
workable, this
Yeah.
seems to be, this is something that I can write about. So this was one of the things that I did, and I chose geography because, to be truthful, by the time I was looking at the question papers, I had done one reading of G.C. Leong, Goche Leong. It's a very thin book, geography book,
Okay.
and there were multiple questions in 2014 paper which could be answered just by reading of G.C. Leong. Now,
Oh,
this
okay.
was this was actually an aberration, but then I thought, okay, this subject is so easy. I can.
Okay. And I
So
don't think people will think geography is easy too when we're in school and when we're growing up. World map and all that for flora, fauna, coming from so many places, ethnicities, background, geography. You're saying the whole world is easy sort of thing when you choose geography.
see, anything that can be distributed is geography, and everything can be distributed. So everything is geography, to be truthful, because geography about is actually physical geography only. When
Okay.
you get into human geography and economic geography, you talk about trade, transport, business, economy, you talk about health, you
Mm.
talk about gender issues, geography.
Yeah.
So,
So to clear the toughest exams in India, you have to study about the world and more.
yes,
Yeah.
actually, see, while geography, because of its vastness, does take up more time, but it's a lot helpful in your GS preparation because it overlaps a lot with your GS papers. So I did not regret my decision at any moment that I took geography at all. Uh,
Mm.
I told you it's a funny story because that's how it panned out. But then geography does have some strengths. By
I
the
thought
way,
when you said the funny story, you would say you put chits and pick the chit or something. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
no, no, no. I tend not to keep my life that random.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then,
Mm.
as far as this is concerned, picking paper is concerned, picking optional subject, others what I will actually want to advise people is to keep a few things in mind. One, they must understand what their interest is, what they can study and what they cannot. Uh, for example, geography has a good mix of static and dynamic portions. It has physical geography, so which is kind of science oriented. So people with science background get benefit there, but it does not have very vast science, uh, inputs also. So people
Right.
with humanities can also manage it. It's not that big a deal for them to manage. Uh, so if you think about some other discipline, something like say psychology or philosophy, uh, one might not be aware about it. They might actually take it and do pretty well in them. And I know people who have engineering background and they have done that. So it's not that they don't do well. But all I'm saying is that geography seems a bit more known, when you see the simple physics being applied there and everything. So things that you have to keep in mind is one, what is your aptitude? What do you think you can study better? Number two, I think people should definitely look at previous year questions. If not paper one, at least paper two of usually different tests are either application oriented or India oriented.
Okay.
So have a look at paper two of optional subject of last maybe 3, 4, 5 years to at least get a hang as to what is asked and if you can respond to that. You will not be able to respond at that particular moment because you simply don't have the knowledge. But do
Yeah.
you feel comfortable? Do you feel that, okay, these are questions that I think I will be able to respond sometime in future? So that's second. Third thing also is many of people say this, and I would also say that this becomes an important parameter is a good coaching available for that. So if you don't want to rely on coaching, if you want to study by yourself, and particularly if you have somebody to guide you as to how to study and what to study, pretty well and good, go for it, no doubt at all. But for people who do not have somebody to give a support, usually the reliance is on teachers. Just because Virat Kohli is doing so well in cricket, I will not start playing cricket, right? It's his strength. So
Yeah.
one must play to their own strengths is all I'm saying. So interest and aptitude one must keep in mind.
Yeah.
For somebody who has a bit of science background but still has the bent of mind to go for social sciences, see, anyway, if you're preparing for this exam, you must have the capability to study social science because the whole paper is based on social science, right?
Yeah.
So geography also has social science. That shouldn't be a big deal because geography has large coverage of social issues. Three has a very huge coverage with geography. Half of the paper is practically human geography. So
Mhm.
these things ultimately help you also. Even as I told you, I'll share my notes. When I share my notes, you will see one particular note has written geography optional and GS. And
Oh,
if you open the notes, you will see a large overlap with GS paper 1 and GS paper 3. All the material related to paper 1 and 3 are also part of my geography notes only. So that way it helps. Uh,
mm.
the hard work that you do for geography, because the syllabus is bigger, pays off by covering a lot of the portion of GS.
So speaking of geography, of discovery and of having a vast syllabus, was it more self-driven, or how did you navigate this process?
Uh, it has to be, see, there are multiple teachers to whom I have gone because my journey has been simply longer. So
Yeah, and,
uh,
sorry, I forgot to ask that. How long has it been the journey? How many rounds did?
so this was a fourth attempt,
Wow. Okay.
and yes, so it was 5 years. 15 and it's 2020 already, so 5 years, 5 full years. Uh, and because yes, so coming back to geography, because my journey was longer, I have been to different teachers. I have taken different people, including my friends, and so there's a friend. He actually obtained rank one in forest services in 2017.
Great.
Uh,
Okay.
so he had certain ways of writing answers. certain ways of applying them. He had certain ways of linking different topics. So I learned even that, you know, test series in 2016 that I attended. I remember in 2017 mains, which I wrote last, I've written just two mains. In 2017, the person who obtained rank 5,
Mm-hmm.
he also talked about the same test series
Okay.
as to how test series helped him, right? So that test series actually changed a few things as to I had not studied any geography books before that. So I started buying books for geography and I started reading books. This was the
Mm.
first big change that was brought about. And then I started reading reports and all a lot, which was recommended by sir frequently. Those things started, you know, building up my content rapidly. And the fear of the question paper started diminishing after that, because at least even if I could not answer a question properly, I knew something about it.
Mm.
So I wasn't blank in almost any of the questions. You know, there are exceptional questions. Yes, there definitely are, which I will go blank even today. But
Mm.
then their numbers were pretty less with time.
Yeah.
So relying on books in geography, I think, is important. You must refer to books. If a teacher tells you that notes are enough, until unless the notes are really detailed and really quote unquote thick,
Yeah.
they will not be enough.
That's great. So now that we've understood your origin and your journey, and the many strategies that you've adopted, so many strategies to success. uh, I just want to ask, the dream that you had from Schindler's List back in 2014, uh, do you think the moment is now that you have the baton to make that dream a reality and be the person who brings change and who drives change to a lot of people?
Oh, a good question, I would say, because see, people think that this exam end.
Yeah.
Will probably do after we clear the exam. So uh, I was when I was studying, and uh, earlier you had talked about self-discipline and routine, and how many hours probably one has to put in.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, my average was around 8 to 9 hours, and I'm using the word average deliberately because there were days when I could study for only 2 3 hours and go berserk on watching movies, maybe 3 4 movies back to back. I will just watch. I will
Right.
cool down, recuperate, prepare for next day. Even those days, you know, you realize, you look at uh, an IS officer, and I'm talking about it. I have just met the district magistrate,
Oh,
and
wow.
he of my district, and he was still sitting in his office at 8:30, 8:30, and it did not seem that he was about to leave soon. So he would have to stay longer. So if you are thinking as an aspirant that you have to study a lot, know that clearing the exam, you will have to study even more and work more.
Yeah.
So probably you are getting prepared even for that.
Yeah.
So have a habit, have a self-discipline of uh, having some routine. It's not necessary to wake up early or to sleep early or to sleep really late. Have some discipline, self-imposed discipline that you have to follow, uh, and make sure that you do chip in with 8 to 9 hours at an average. There will be days where you will 2 to 3 hours or 4 to 5 hours or 0 hours at all altogether. So make sure that there are also days where it's 13 14. That ways you will average out your preparation.
Yeah. But to you, I'm actually confident that people like you will be part of running the country, and it's such an honor to have talked to you for so long. I hope that we get to interact more going forward, and I hope that many aspirants will be motivated by your words and would like to follow in your lead. Thank you so much for spending so much time with us, and wishing you the best on the interview results. And more than everything, wishing you the best to do your best as the IAS officer and to achieve all your dreams and aspirations, and also the aspirations of us, the citizens of this country. Being from South India, I hope you also get to do some work on this part of the country. I wish you all the best, and thank you so very
Uh,
much for.
So others, just to clarify,
Yeah.
because I have 169 rank, I will probably not get. In fact, I will not get IS as the service. My second preference is Indian Revenue Service, income tax. So
Okay.
that's the service that I will perhaps get. And because it's a central government service, I will get transferred to different parts of the country. And I do hope to come to South.
Yeah. Send you my
I
address.
have
So maybe
I have I
you
have
can
really
come.
enjoyed my stay in Bangalore for the two
Okay.
years that I worked there.
Right.
So yes, I definitely want to come to South again and work.
It's amazing. That's really nice to know. And I hope given the COVID circumstances and everything, you would not have gotten a chance to go out and celebrate with your friends, and to actually enjoy the victory that you've got. Like you said, it's just the start. But I hope
Just
that the COVID weans
one
off soon. Yeah.
one small thing here. So while you are absolutely correct that because of COVID I could not have any celebration or anything,
Yeah.
but because of COVID I was at my home, and telling my parents about the result on their face gives you a better feeling than any celebration that you can perhaps have with your friends. So that did it for me.
That's so nice to hear. I'm sure they are really proud of you and the journey that you've taken, such a long journey. Uh, yeah, it's really nice to know. And I'm very happy for getting the time to interact with you and learn so much from you. And I hope many people take your words and take your motivation, and I'm sure you'll make everybody proud as you have made your parents. Thank you so much again.
Thank you. Thank you, others.
Yeah,
Good day.
all the best. Thanks.